Good evening, everybody. This is DJ Verm here live. Yes, DJ Verm, or Verm for the people that know me for so long. We're here tonight with the Just Pure Talk show, like usual. My host is with me, Doc Fallujah, and Akai is going to be popping up. He's a little late, a lot of traffic on the road, so he will be hopping in just a few. So tonight's topics, we're bringing topics, and I got to thank Doc Fallujah for this because, we completely always talk about Donald Trump in Canada and Donald Trump in Canada and Canada and Donald Trump. So, yeah, we all have that at heart because it's the situation that's going on lately in on the planet. I mean, no, the news is all talking about it, and we're always talking about it. So I told the team, I said, hey guys, let's go try to talk also about something else to get you guys that are listening to us, at ease to listen. I mean, because some people like Trump, some people don't. So if people don't like Trump and they listen to us, what do you think happens? Well, you quit. And the people that do like Trump, well, sometimes we'll say something and then they won't like us. So, you know what I mean? So everything is not personal. This is not Vermland Radio or either LPV podcast. It's everything that is said is with the hosts. It's with us. So be sure that that we're saying things. It belongs to us. So we're gonna go on since my brother here, Doc Fallujah, gave me a couple of topics. So tonight we're gonna first the guys that claim his laptop was a bomb. So we're gonna talk about that laptop that was a bomb, and the guy claimed on it. And so we're gonna have a little bit of that about that chat. We're also going to have Texas didn't activate the alerts system. And we all know a little bit why. Well, that's what we heard on the news. And we're going to talk about that. So, and then third topic that Doc brought up, because I mean, it's me and Doc tonight at the moment. So Russia started to invade Ukraine again. Yeah, started to invade again. Invade Ukraine. God, man, I'm having issues with my English. Started to Ukraine and is facing stiff resistance by the
Don't
Ukrainian.
read the next one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't read the
and
next one.
yeah, thank you. And add an extra.
Don't read that one. That's for us for later. That's a note.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, you're making me read the notes. Okay, so so ladies and gents, just to remind everybody that we do have sponsors for Vermland Radio. I mean LPV podcast and Les Productions Verm. So just to say hi and say to everybody, Rootless Rusters, Débosseleur Marcel Ferron, CSL location and Sonorisation, PH Pit Stop Performance, and SL Photography that has joined up with us, and I promised them that it would be in the French because technically they're in the French podcast, so it's the GYMKHANA show. If ever you have a chance, come and listen to us, but it's French, and I'm talking about at the English community, and then you got us Just Pure Talk. So it's a bonus I give to my sponsors to be on both podcasts, so we can talk about them. So first of all, I'm going to say hi to Doc. How you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm all right.
Yeah.
I'm all right. I
So
can't
what's
say.
going on in life before we start talking about topics?
Well, I had an interview yesterday. I have one on Friday.
Okay.
The job I really want, though, not that I don't like working where I'm working, but I have to drive an hour each day right now.
Yeah.
And there's
Oh,
an
hey
IT.
Doc, give me a sec. I want to say hi to my buddy, my friend, Horizon Western. He's listening to us at the moment, so I just want to say a heads up and say hi. Yeah, we're going to be talking. We're going to have him on the French show for sure. Maybe he wants to go on the English show. We'll see
No,
one
he
day.
needs to come on the English show. He has to
Yeah, but
pass
that's
the
it.
English test
But
before he
I
can come
mean,
speak
I
French.
think he does. I think he speaks English. I'm going to have to ask him, but if ever he wants, one day he could come and join us on the English show at the same time. So, hi, Horizon Western. Okay, so I'm sorry I cut you off.
They have a IT director position open up the local city park. So they have
Uh-huh.
a park district, and I would really interested in that position. It's right up my alley. Kai and I talk about it a lot, but the job doesn't close until Monday.
Okay.
So I won't hear anything till then. But the other job that I interviewed for on Friday was for the local college. Um, so um, that's interesting. My mother-in-law applied for a visa, was denied on Monday
Okay.
to come to the United States to visit. However, she has a Canadian visa. So
She
does
does.
Yeah. So I was kind of thinking about talking to you about that because they could fly to Toronto and then I might be able to fly up there and swing up by your place or something. I definitely
Okay.
don't want to drive. No offense, but driving all the way up to Quebec from where I'm at, I have to go all the way across Ontario because the
Yeah.
line for Ontario is like halfway in the middle.
Yeah.
Uh, so it would just be a really long drive. That kind of waste of vacation when you have to drive for 2 days.
Okay.
Although there's a lot of pretty stuff between here and there.
So where are you going? Which airport you're going?
I'd probably come into Toronto because that's where her mom would come into.
Okay.
But then
Well,
from there,
Toronto is
I
a
could rent.
6-hour drive for me,
Yeah,
so I can't go
but
get you.
no, no, no. I don't expect that at all. I could rent a car there though,
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm
and it's
just
better
just
than me driving my car from. Uh, how do I explain it? To go to Toronto, I'm going to look this up real quick on Google Maps so I can give you an idea of how far it is from my house to Toronto because it's not. If I were to drive to Toronto, it's 1,200 miles, 18 hours of driving.
yeah.
So I could fly that in 3 or 4 hours, and then I could rent a car and go over to Montreal. Plus, then I can go through Kingston, and I could have been in Kingston, Jamaica, and Kingston, Canada.
Okay.
Um, but that way my mother-in-law could see the baby. The birthday's coming up. I'm not trying to tell my wife about it. Trying to make it a surprise.
No,
Um,
not a problem. Not a problem. Hey, and us, well, like for on my end, I had my French podcast yesterday, so it was a great podcast. A lot of topics on the GYMKHANA, and we had a special invitation. So she gave us a lot of glimpse because we're going to be having our rodeo coming up in 2 weeks. So there will be a competition for the youngsters to go to Saint Tite. So that's going to be great. That's something really marvelous that people are looking forward to. So yeah.
don't worry, I'm not running away. I just have to.
No, I was wondering what you're doing. Yeah, because we
I'm
see you
putting
playing
on.
around. Yeah.
I'm putting on an
So yeah,
apparatus on the arm.
yeah,
I have some
and
paws on my shoulder.
yeah. At the moment, a lot of work's being done. A lot of programs, a lot of contracts coming in for DJing, doing music and stuff like that. So yeah. So we're kind of busy. We are busy. Verm's productions are busy. So, but that's the good part, eh?
Well, that means you're making money.
Yeah, that's it. So, are we ready to maybe hit a topic or two there?
We can start any topic you like. I have them pulled up here on my right so that I can give
So
you a little bit of information about it.
let's talk about that guy that claims that he had in his laptop had a bomb.
Well, his name is Taj Malik Taylor. He was seated on the last row of Allegiant Flight 1023, according to the FBI.
Okay.
He went from the St. Pete Clearwater International Airport to the Roanoke Blacksberry, and he told the passenger next to him, "My laptop is a bomb." And then he kept telling him. So, of course, the passenger tells the flight attendants, I mean, like, okay, I want to let you guys know I'm not laughing because it's funny that he says his computer's a bomb. I'm laughing that he's so stupid. For one, if he actually had a computer as a bomb, to bring a bomb on the plane. It makes me wonder how good our airport security is, which it may have not been a bomb, but you never
No,
you don't
you're not
you
supposed to.
don't joke about that.
No, you don't. But technically, they must have checked because it has to go through customs. There's the electronic is always separate, so they could see what's in the
They
computer.
scan it, and I used to use those machines in Iraq.
Yeah, they
Um,
scan it. So technically, the guy must have been messing around, and I think he wanted to
and
get arrested.
maybe he needed 3 hots and a cot,
Yeah, something.
like
There's
a
something
night in
wrong in his.
jail, and
Yeah, something wrong in his head. I'm sorry to say it. Sorry, buddies. Sorry, the guy. I mean, you don't go into a plane and tell people that your computer's a bomb.
it's just um, and then can you imagine from the passenger perspective of how scared they might be? Like, I don't know if I would have been as nice. I'm not a very violent person, but if the guy next to me said his laptop was a bomb, I would be proceeding to beat the piss out of him.
Well,
Because if he's the trigger man and he's knocked out, um, and then when they say, "Well, why did you beat him up?" Well, he said 3 times his laptop was a bomb. So I was thinking, well, if he's knocked out, you guys can arrest him and we can figure out if his laptop is a bomb or not. Because I don't want to find out when it blows up next to me.
well, I don't want to find out when the plane blows up. Yeah, you're right.
And at the end of the plane, I mean, you know, some stuff that we've learned over time on an airplane, the safest place to actually be is near the back of the plane. If
Yeah.
it happens to crash, because you're more likely to survive at the back of the plane. Uh, and like it doesn't, you know, and it's Allegiant. Um, and it wasn't, and it appears it wasn't even a real bomb threat.
Okay.
He's being charged with a false bomb threat because it wasn't a bomb. It's a $25,000 fine and a prison sentence of no more than 5 years or both. So they can say
Okay.
you owe 25,000 and you're going to jail for 5 years.
Okay.
Like, um, and then there's actually good because the flights got delayed. Allegiant gave $100 vouchers to every other passenger on the flight,
Okay. But
which is good
yeah.
for them.
So what happened with the guy?
He was arrested by
Did
the
they punch him
FBI.
out? Did they
No,
punch him out?
they just arrested him. It doesn't really say that. Uh, and this might have happened on Sunday. Well, let me see here. Yeah, and
Yeah.
forced emergency landing. It doesn't really have a lot of information. However, I would like to say when it comes to these kind of things after 9/11, um, they really don't release a lot of information right away because they want to see like what's credible.
Yeah.
Um, like, did someone pay him to say that? I know that sounds funny, but
No, but there's a lot of things
like
going on.
you like I don't know. Like you could pay me to do a lot of things if you had the right amount of money. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And we're talking about um 10 zeros would be nice. I would do a
Okay.
lot for 10 zeros. Now, I don't know if I'd give up my dignity or anything, but and when I say 10 zeros, I mean $1 trillion. Because with $1
Okay.
trillion, it wouldn't matter uh, like what you had to do. You could pretty much Akai likes to say that um you can usually buy enough to compensate for whatever you had to do to get that kind of money, right?
Yeah.
This is something that I would never do.
Okay.
I could never do this.
Okay.
Um, I was, as you had mentioned earlier, I was uh swore to uphold and maintain the Constitution of the United States,
Yeah.
and this is just not okay. Like this is not okay at all.
Okay.
And I have a big issue against people that do this kind of stuff because if you need mental help, and I don't know if this is a mental issue, but if you need mental help, almost every city in every country, at least in our Western civilization, has a number you can call that they will help you.
Oh, for sure.
And a lot of these issues are based on what I've talked to professionals that are in the field, are mental health issues. So, like,
Mhm.
all I can really say about it is, they said that canine searched his belongings and no bomb was found, so he made a false accusation. But I'm guessing the guy just needed help. Um,
Okay.
I'm not giving you guys my number to call me. I can't help you with those things. I'm not professionally qualified. I apologize. However,
Okay.
like, um, if you guys feel the need to go somewhere and try to scare people or whatever, just get the help you need.
Yeah, get the help. Don't go over all the population. Get the help.
Yeah, don't like terrorize other people.
No.
And that's
Well,
essentially what happened is we terrorized other people.
yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, yeah. So, yeah, but
I
you
mean,
have,
we
you know,
didn't, but I'm not saying that we. It's just I just recommend if you guys need help, seek the medical help you need.
yeah,
And
but I keep saying all the time, there's too many people to do for all these nonsense. It's hard to say, but you know what I mean.
mhm.
Yeah. So I think we beat the bush. What about the Texas
Well,
alert
this one
system?
here caught me off guard. There was a lot of people that died in Texas or are missing. There's like 120. But there's a county in Kerr County, Texas. Now, I don't necessarily know where Kerr County is, but they had a code red system that would send out text messages to all the residents um, to get them out of the county or get them into a place safe. And when someone called in dispatch and asked them if they could activate the code red system, dispatch said, "Hold on, I have to ask my supervisor." And
Okay.
because of that, the only way into the town was overran. It was a bridge. So no one could get into town to help the people anymore because the code red system wasn't activated and the people weren't able to get out.
Yeah, but haven't I heard that also the cuts that were done by the administration, just to keep it as administration, was part of the alert system and
Oh no, they don't they use called the emergency response system in the United States.
okay,
This part of the state never had one.
okay,
Um uh Interesting. That's not good. Okay.
okay.
Um They use a thing called Code Red, which is different than what everyone else uses. And what it would do is instead of sending out sirens, because this county doesn't have it, it would send everyone in the county a text message or an email.
Okay, so they did
And it
like
would,
an all electronic text messaging.
yeah, it would go to every phone. I think you might have seen them on your iPhone before. You get an
Yeah, I
alert,
have it. We
and
have
it
that
pops up.
alert.
Maybe
Alert.
there's like a silver alert because an old person's missing, or an amber alert because there's a child
Yeah,
missing.
Amber Alert. That's what they call it. Yeah.
Each one has a different name. And they said, I have to stand by. We have to get that approved with our supervisor. Now, I have a quote on that that I heard the other day. I'm going to pull up that quote because it hit me in the feels. Um, and it says,
Okay.
leadership isn't about rank or experience. It's about
Okay.
taking responsibility when no one else can. And
Sorry.
maybe it's so I don't know if you heard that. So leadership isn't about rank or experience. It's about taking responsibility when no one else can. And
Okay.
if I'm in a county where someone's calling me asking me if I can activate the code red system and they're telling me what the conditions are, um, I would probably activate it and risk getting fired. Because if they
Okay.
fire me, but I save a whole town, that's just going to blow back on them. When you go to the Department of Labor in the state and it's like, oh, yeah, they fired me. Why? Well, this city was going to flood. So I didn't have permission to activate the emergency system, but I did anyways. And it saved 120 lives. How's that going to work out on the news? Now we're
Yeah.
looking at the news article that said, oh, they had to get permission. And maybe as Akai would say, it's better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission. Um,
Okay.
Especially when it comes to people's lives. Like it's just, uh, and the reason why I came out is because one of the guys that helped install it came live on CBS and talked about it. He helped
Okay.
install the system, so he knew it existed, and uh, and by 5:11 that morning, they were already carrying out rescue operations in the flooded waters to try to get these people out, and the emergency system still hadn't been activated. It was like an
Okay.
hour and a half later, so it's just
Uh-huh.
almost 2 hours later. Uh, I like, um,
Hello?
yeah, I'm here. I would say, um, uh, I'm just dumbfounded that,
Okay. Yeah.
uh,
So, okay.
now,
So, yeah. So they were missing. I know you're losing your words for some reason, but they're missing a system. Well, they didn't get the system to say to the people, you got to get out of there. There's a flood
so
coming up.
to what we have here in my town, if there's a tornado, there's a siren that goes off. If there's a flood,
Yeah, that's
a
it.
siren goes off. It spins around, very annoying. They don't have
Yeah.
that, but what they did have was actually a better system that's electronic. It
Okay.
comes to your text, it sends to your phone, you get an alert. And the reason why they didn't activate the system is because they needed permission. And that's the
Okay.
ultimate form of I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Idiocracy, but that's
Yeah.
what that reminds me of.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah.
like, you've got to be kidding me. You are more
Yeah.
worried about your job and getting permission to do something than saving people's lives. Isn't your job to save people's lives?
Well, technically, it should be save people's lives. Yeah.
And if you fail to do that, like, I, I, I I'm all at a loss for words because uh, was in the military for a few years, just like Akai, and I was a medic. And our motto is, "We do this so that others may live."
Okay.
And we take that literally. If we have to run into the gunfire to pull a guy out to keep him alive, we do that. A good
Okay.
example of that is the movie Hacksaw Ridge. It's about a gentleman, Desmond Doss, and
Okay.
they did a movie about him because Desmond Doss was I believe, a Seventh-day Adventist, and he stayed on top of a hill by himself in Okinawa, I believe, saved 78 men by himself, all alone against the Japanese, and he never carried a rifle. I don't know if you've seen the movie, and we won't get in. We don't have to really explain that anymore, but that's the oath he took. So,
Yes.
um,
So we got our buddy Akai that's in.
Sorry, I was late, guys. I was traffic coming off the
Akai.
mountain was insane. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Akai is in the house. Yes, we can hear you,
Okay.
and you have a great loud voice.
Nice. Too loud?
So
Do I need to turn it down?
two things
Just
we
a bit.
already touched on, Kai, is there was a guy over in North Carolina that said he had a bomb in his laptop. That happened on Sunday. It turned out to
Wow.
be a false bomb. And then we talked about how in Texas, they had they don't have the siren system like we do in this particular county. I believe it was Kerr County.
For like tornadoes, yeah.
But they had an electronic system, and one guy that helped install the system called in and asked if you guys can activate the system. The person said that they needed to get it approved by the supervisor.
It's crazy.
Wow.
When they were
Yeah.
when fire and everything were already trying to rescue people, system still hadn't been activated. So people got stuck in the town because their only bridge got cut off. And
yeah, well, and a lot of people, left-leaning news are blaming Trump for the Doge firings in that area. And
Well, they did
actually
talk about.
They had 4 people on duty that day versus the normal 2. So I think it falls on them. Somebody wasn't taking charge.
Well, I mean, yeah. I know they did talk about it, that they had, Doge has cut on the weather stuff and something.
But it hasn't.
There. Yeah.
They just stopped giving him so much money. They have enough money for all their people. It's just
what was happening in reality
it's
with that?
It's excess government funds.
I'll give a good example. The government gives Harvard University $3 billion per year, and they're cutting that because Harvard has like a 538 or some stupid amount of surplus.
$500 billion.
$500 billion is sitting there.
Okay.
And the government's like, you can make that money yourself, because if you invest $500 billion, you will make enough money every year just from investments to get more money than we're giving you.
Okay.
They're
Like you're
endowment
talking,
funds.
like you're $500 billion at 1% is still $5 trillion a year, or sorry, $5 billion a year, which is more than the government's giving them. So, I didn't really want to bring up Trump very much in this, as we had the conversation before.
No, but I mean,
It's like I said and I was kind of talking about it, in my area of the world, we're very moderate. If we go to Texas, they consider us left. If we go to California, they consider us right here. Because we live in an area where it's very, I would say it's more balanced than the rest of the country. You have the farmers that are that are trying to make the stuff, and you have the companies that are buying their product, and they have to really work together in our area to succeed. And because of that, it's got a good balance where they can go and sit at the table and have conversations that are good conversations. I can't say that about every area of the country. But there's another topic I wanted to talk about.
Sure.
I wanted to talk. Well, we have the last one that I have on there. Ukraine tried to invade.
Well, we're talking about Russia that started to invade again. Ukraine. That's
Russia hasn't stopped since the ceasefire.
I mean,
Russia
they never
has continued to attack. Continued to attack while Ukraine has just stood there and took it. So,
but how do you feel? This is like a little bit weird, because I mean, I don't like talking about war, but I mean, you guys are two people that have a little bit of that experience. So
I think we can fix this problem with $5, but I'm not going to explain how we're going to fix this problem with $5. Akai knows exactly when.
I got a cheaper solution.
Okay, go.
Both leaders go to the front line and fight it out.
Oh, you mean like hand to hand?
They won't. But they won't,
because they're chickens.
No, but I have a feeling that Zelensky would do it, but Putin.
Putin wouldn't show up.
No, he's not showing up on anything. So
no, because he knows that he's going to get
shot. He knows he's going to get shot. So why is he not moving?
It's just
settle the old ways, like the old ways. Instead of having your armies massacre each other, the kings would bout it out.
Or they would each elect an individual, like you've seen in
like a champion,
and Achilles, and then whatever side wins, the other side loses, and they go home.
Does Russia still have champions?
No.
I'm sure they do, but I mean,
he killed everybody off. I mean,
but he's got millions more to go.
Yeah, but
there's the rest of poor Russia he can kill off.
But you know the problem. The problem is he's and this is weird. He's emptying Russia in male population, because who do they send in the war? At the war, they always send
them in.
Because I haven't.
But now he's got Koreans, he's got Chinese, he's got
I hope
before long I expect to see Uyghur troops.
Who?
Uyghurs. It's the Muslim population of China that China wants to get rid of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They had North Korean troops that they found, and they were trying to cover it up because North Korea sent troops. Really, it's the start of World War III. It's just.
But this is weird. Why can't people go support Ukraine, but all the other countries that are communists are helping out Putin or Putin?
Just because they don't like us. Of course, they're going to help out the other guy.
But I mean, why aren't we allowed? Why is NATO not allowed to just jump in now that everything has started?
If NATO jumps in, it's World War III and nukes will fly.
Well, I don't think nukes will fly yet. I don't think nukes will
fly. Nukes, if we invade Russia, nukes will fly.
I mean, I'll be honest. If we were going to invade Russia, let's be honest. We can talk about things like the other day. I think we talked about how Trump sent in some bombers and took out the uranium enrichment plants.
Yeah.
Did you know that those enrichment plants were given their uranium by Obama and Biden?
Yep.
They were given by our government.
think Hillary was also involved in it.
I think she was too. Yeah, I just don't remember where she falls
But,
in the picture.
You know, the one thing that's driving me crazy right now is stuff that's happening here in the States. Did you see that news article about the 11 people that got arrested shooting and injuring cops and ICE agents, had body armor and guns? And
no.
Yeah, there's like 11 of them. And I guess they were shooting at, and another guy in like New York, he just got charged with another Democrat.
It was Texas.
Charged. Well, New York is the other one.
The Texas one I found. Yep.
Yeah, the 11 people.
Yep.
A lot of them are gender fluid, so that might
explain. Well, that's what something I kind of wanted to talk about. So I wanted to explain a part of our political process that someone so kindly explained to me. So we have a democratic republic in our government. We're not really a democracy. We're not really a republic. It's definitely not a pure democracy, right? Well, what happens is every 10 years they do a census, and in the census they count everybody, illegal or not.
Okay.
Everybody that lives in the state. So states like, I'm going to single out California, nothing. If they count and they have 20 million people that are legal immigrants, they still get count. And then they're given representatives based on their population in proportion to the rest of the country. But those people, so let's just say that, and I don't know how many people, but let's just say 10% of the last population I knew in California, we'll call it 60 million. 10% of those people are illegal immigrants, right? Well, they still get electoral votes for power in Congress and the House for those people, but those people can't vote for president.
Okay.
So what's happening
is... They shouldn't even be counted on the census.
Correct.
Legally.
They're getting credit for people that aren't Americans.
They said 20-something people, 20 senators or congressmen, I can't remember what it was, would lose their jobs in the state of California if they did a correct census count. They would lose 20 seats. And not to mention 20 electoral votes.
Okay.
And then
that's why California is fighting so hard to keep it. It's because the illegals boost their numbers and it gives them more power in the government.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Crazy.
It's nuts, man.
And it's an ongoing problem because I would say up in North Dakota where I'm at, I think if I have illegal immigrants here, they came from Canada. I hate to tell you because Canada is right across the border. And Mexico and South America and whatnot and Central America are pretty far away. If you've made your way all the way up here, it would be more than likely that you would have an illegal immigrant from Canada. However, in our current border situation, I see people from like Canada all the time, from Manitoba, because they could just drive across the border. A lot of truck drivers. So it's pretty country diverse here. But I doubt we don't share a southern border with Latin America.
Okay.
And I could honestly, I hate to bring up Texas. Texas may be doing the same thing, and it may be getting counted as Republican votes.
Okay. Yeah. But if we look at the aspect of what is your vision? Sorry, I'm looking for the words. What is your vision of what's going on? I mean, Ukraine still keeps the front lines. I mean, even with
eventually, with the way Russia's military is so, it seems, inexperienced, they could keep throwing people, and it's only going to do the world a favor because those people are just going to get killed. And back in the day, we used to not have warning labels, and population kind of killed itself off. Like now we have warning labels on everything, and unfortunately, that was, I hate to say it, a form of population control. Do not put your hand in auger; you will get killed. Back in the day, it didn't say that because Dad would be like, "Hey, don't put your hand in there; you'll get killed." And if someone was stupid enough to do it, well, there goes their hand. Okay. The coffee used to never say hot.
Yeah, the lack. Well, it's the lack of common sense.
It is.
When we were kids, young men, we used to ride to school with shotguns and rifles in our trucks.
I can't
And then
say
hunt
that, but
on the way home.
I remember a guy that got in
And
trouble.
it wasn't a big deal
because he had a gun in his back.
We used to carry pocket knives into school. It was no big deal. Nobody cared.
Mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden, it's an issue 20 years later because parents aren't doing their damn job. Teachers aren't doing their job.
Teachers want you to
we
teach.
won't let them do their job. We won't let police do their job. And so society is crumbling around us.
Okay.
There's more crime now. And they have more police officers and more, like 4th of July, for instance, is an example.
Uh-huh.
Fireworks are illegal in my city to fire off. You have to get a permit. You have to do it in the proper area. They have to have proper fire and rescue and all that so you don't burn somebody's house down, right? It looked like World War III erupted. There was a layer of smoke over the entire city of Colorado Springs that lasted for hours. I have never seen, and I went to the cigar lounge that night because our golf course has a big show they put on. And I just don't like being in the house alone when that's going off because that's too much. So I go to the cigar lounge. It's quiet in there, and you hear a couple pops here and there. But when I left at 9:30 to come home, oh my God, the smell of cordite and sulfur in the air, like
oh wow,
even coming through the vents. I rolled up the windows, and it was still coming through the vents in the car. I mean, it was thick. And they were going till like midnight. And not one ticket was issued.
I know.
No.
Wow.
They even burnt down some houses. Nobody got a ticket.
They burnt down houses. That's great.
Nobody got a ticket.
Okay.
So if you're not going to enforce the law at the local level, why do I have to follow it at the federal level?
He's correct.
Yeah.
It's like being a parent and you're like, and your kid's, stealing money out of your wallet. And you keep letting them steal money out of your wallet and you don't tell them nothing.
Next thing you know, he steals money from the store.
And then he's stealing from the store. My dad didn't care. Well, now the stores don't care. They're not allowed to do anything. If you get caught shoplifting, they just got to watch you walk out. In some of these states.
Back in the day, they'd have your butt tackled.
Back in the day, you would have got tackled right in the foyer or right in the entrance, and you'd been cuffed up and stuffed in an office waiting for a cop to come pick you up.
Mm-hmm.
There's guys, homeless guys in this town. They got 50 and 60 outstanding warrants because of failure to appear. They don't serve any jail time. They get slapped on the wrist and away they go.
And then they never show up in court.
The state's making rules about helping ICE. We can't help immigration control. And if you do, then you get in trouble.
Well, that's because your state is one of those states now that
it's a libtard, gay Polish. I could rant about him for weeks. He's a POS.
Well, I just would say he probably didn't have a good family life.
I think he was touched as a child.
Yeah.
So I dropped some links to some pictures for you fellas. That's what I'm working on today. That's the reason I was late.
You want us to take it out? So you want to talk about it?
You can blow it out. I'll show you. Yeah.
I was just wondering.
I'm surprised you got that far.
We were busting our humps today.
Who was helping you?
My buddy Timmy. And you want to talk about, I have had nothing but broke dicks up there. And I'll explain the term broke dicks. Broke dicks are members of the military or veterans that are crippled. And we are all crippled in a way. Like I got issues. Timmy's got issues,
I have issues.
Doc has issues. And so we're all disabled veterans. And everybody that's been working on this project with me has all been disabled veterans.
Okay.
But what's nice about that is it gives us a mission and it gives us confidence that we've done something.
Okay.
So yeah, show it. Yeah.
Wrong number.
That didn't work. I got a GYMKHANA 30-second count. Wrong button, Verm. Wrong button.
Wrong button.
And on our last topic, the Diocese of San Bernardino says that Catholics who fear ice don't have to attend Mass.
Yeah. So here we go. This is beautiful.
Yes, that roof.
Well, I mean, it's built. So is that your cabin?
That is my cabin.
He hasn't put the gun safe in you there in the bunker yet, but that's coming next.
So how big is it?
It's 300 square foot, roughly.
This?
Yeah.
Okay.
So those walls are 4x4s and they're 8 feet tall.
Okay.
And between the black and the black structure, the black metal and the black metal,
yeah,
that you can see right there on the top, or on the bottom, that's 8 feet.
Okay. So you have an 8-foot squares on.
It's an 8-foot square on every side. So it's an 8-foot square and it's an octagon.
Okay.
So your perimeter is what, 64? No,
I would have to
48.
do math. But
48.
So your footing is your footing on blocks? That's what I see.
It is on blocks. The original cabin was there on 4 rocks since 1880.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know there was a cabin out there.
There was a cabin out there.
Did the guy bulldoze it off the side of the hill for you or what?
No, I removed it and saved the logs because there's some logs I'm going to use to make window frames and door frames, and so I can incorporate some of that 1880 cabin back in. And this is looking up at the roof ring.
So you made like a round. You're going to have what? Is it going to be a chimney coming out of there?
There will be a chimney coming out of there. That's actually 24 inches across.
Okay.
So it's 2 foot. Okay.
So you're putting your chimney in the middle.
Yes, and I'll have a thing that kind of looks like a lighthouse up there.
Oh, okay.
So that way I'll get light in. Yeah.
Were you alone?
No, he just said he was with his buddy Timmy.
I was with my buddy Timmy.
Oh, okay.
Doc just hasn't got out there yet.
And then but we go up there and we usually work for a couple hours. But we had to run all over town today to find lumber. It was ridiculous. Like nobody had lumber.
Oh, when they burned down how many houses? That's why they don't have no lumber.
That's why they don't have no lumber. And so we were able to find lumber and get up there, but we didn't get up there till like 1:00 in the afternoon. So
okay.
And then we were working so hard, we were like, oh
no.
What do you
screen that is? Pick a plan.
Let me scan it.
And try something. I'm gonna have to try it out of the.
But yeah, it was nice. And then my neighbor came up from down the hill.
Okay.
And I think he thought we were building like a lean-to or something. But he came up there and he was in total shock.
Okay.
He's like, this is crazy. This thing, it's huge and it's crazy. It's like, he's like, well, do you think it'll stand up to the wind up here? And I go, give it a shake. And he goes, that thing's solid. That's a tank. It's not going nowhere.
That's crazy.
Well, so I mean, the rock.
So you're going to start the walls and all that, and So inside, you're going to be able to put what? How many rooms?
It's one room. It's going to be a single room.
Is it going to be open? Is it going to be like a how do you call it?
It's a Navajo Hogan.
Okay.
It's the female variant of a Navajo Hogan, and I understand a lot of Navajo wouldn't directly call it a Hogan because the door is going to be on the wrong spot. The door needs to be on the east. I have to put it in the south. I can't put it at the east. But and things like that. And it's not made like a traditional Hogan. It's the modern version of an engineer got a hold of the idea of a Hogan and said, hey, I know how we can make this cheap and quick. And it is.
Okay. Oh.
And so I was able to order a kit from that guy with all the metal parts.
So you're going to be putting a wooden roof on that too?
I will put a metal roof on.
Oh, a metal roof. Okay.
Yeah, I still got to put the decking on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to run the boards in between all the joists and then anchor all the joists down. Only 8 of the joists right now are anchored on the outer perimeter.
How deep did you anchor them again? Did you put them down like 3 feet or
what? The joists?
Mm-hmm.
Or the blocks, the perimeter blocks?
Well, the perimeter blocks are just in the ground, it seems.
The foundation blocks are just in the blocks. They're just down 8 inches.
Did you go down below that though?
No, it's rock.
Okay. So, but
It's
we're
very-
going to move it. You'd need a hurricane up there to move it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's insanely heavy, rocky soil up there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like when I dig up there, I have 3 or 4 tools so I can dig. I have my shovel, I have a pick, a mattocks, and a breaker bar. And a breaker bar or a tanker bar it's got a big sharp point on one end and a flat chisel-y type thing on one end, and it weighs about 30 pounds. And it's about
like this
6 feet long, and you just beat it into the ground. And that's a lot of that trench was dug that way because it's just full of rock.
Oh. Okay. So you can't get a bulldozer.
Well, I had a track hoe up there.
Yeah, I remember.
For 6 days building landings and roads. So
Yeah.
I have 2 roads and 2 landings. So this is my cabin landing, and then I have a landing that I'm going to put a Quonset on so I can park my truck inside and lock the door.
Wow. Yeah. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful view.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait to see it finished.
Yeah.
But how much
your other
time is it
question?
gonna take?
Oh, it'll probably be next year.
Okay, you're taking your time.
Well, I only work on it 2 days a week.
Yeah.
And this is what's happened in 3 weeks.
Yeah, you haven't worked on it that long. You're making good progress. Are you going to use nails or screws for your roof?
Screws.
Okay.
Well, it's going to hold better, no?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but sometimes like it's nothing against it. I prefer screws, but
I'm doing metal roof, so I have no choice. It's got to be screws. So, but the other thing is how the roof is designed. There's no way for me, because usually with a metal roof, you run lats. You know, like those little lat batten, 3/4 inch lat battens underneath the metal roof. That way you create that air gap. So that way when the sun hits it, the ice, it'll melt the ice and let the ice slide off, right?
Yeah.
With the way that roof's designed, there's no way for me to do that.
Oh.
And line up with the lats and still be on the joist.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna have to screw it directly to the thing. So I'll put down that synthetic self-healing tar paper stuff that they do, and then screw the metal directly to the roof and call it good.
Oh wow. Okay. What's
going
to
to
be
seal the roof?
Huh?
Just seal the roof then?
It'll be sealed after I put the metal on.
So long-term project you're going to put a shed, you're going to put you're going to build yourself
I got
a
a
nice
wood
little
yard
home
already. I got a deck planned. I got to get water up there. So I'm going to do rainwater capture.
So how are you going to get water up there? I mean,
I'm going to catch it off the
technical
roof
water,
of the cabin.
not the rain capture, right?
Well, I haul it up.
Don't you have? Is there no water resource somewhere? No.
There's a creek about a mile away.
Okay.
That I got access to.
That's a lot of piping. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I go down there and I fill up a 55-gallon drum and then I drag it up the mountain.
I seen a pump.
I mean, if one day you want to put a pump.
What's that one pump?
I'm at 10,600 feet.
It's going to cost you a lot.
So to put it,
you better find a friend. Find a friend that has piping.
to put in a well up there is a little on the ridiculous side. It really is.
There was a kind of like water pump that I seen that
I could do a ram pump.
Is that the one that like the water comes out of one end, but it pumps it, continues to pump it, and then you just collect the water that comes out?
Will only push so many feet of head, and my head way exceeds one ram pump. So it would need to be I would have to have different lift stations of ram pumps going, and they wouldn't be all on my property, but I'm sure the neighbor wouldn't mind free water. So if he feel like we put a lift station on his property, so
Yeah, you do make a point. Yeah,
I mean, at the end, how much would it cost? What's the difference between that and building a well?
Oh well,
So-
drilling
Drilling a well.
basic
10,000
well
feet?
drill, a basic drill here on the flats at 6,500 feet or 5,000 feet is around $10,000 to $15,000.
Oh, okay.
So if I did it up there, I'm not drilling through dirt. I'm drilling through rock.
Okay.
Oh, the only
Okay.
good
That
thing
means
is maybe
you're
he
going to
finds-
have what are you going to have source water? How do you call it in English?
Well, you can get into an aquifer, but that aquifer may be 600 feet deep, 1,000 feet deep. And if I have to drill 600 to 1,000 foot deep through rock, it's going to be too obscene to do. So
Okay.
he'd be better off hoping he found oil.
yeah, I would, or bring up a really big gold nugget, so I could pay for it. And but I would be better off. There's a couple other, like I think the rain capture is a good idea for me to do because I could do rain capture off my buildings. And then another good idea is there's companies out there that you can generate water from the atmospheric air,
So
from the humidity that's in the air, right?
Okay.
And so they'll have these panels that you could put in that the air blows through at night.
Uh-huh.
And during the day, the sun comes out, which activates the solar panels in the panel.
Okay.
Which then heat up that media and cause it to vapor off, and it hits a chiller or a condensing plate and then condenses into water.
Okay.
And those will, in perfect conditions, can produce like 18 liters a day, which is almost 5 gallons.
Okay.
And those are $2,500 a panel last time I checked. I expect to get half that up there because of the altitude and how dry it is.
But are you going to wash yourself with rainwater?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or are you going to filter it?
Rainwater's
Is it going to
actually-
be filtered?
Yeah,
or
I'll
something?
filter it. I used to be a plumber, man. I think it's going to be like
No, I
sterile
know.
by the time it gets to me.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna work on it. You're gonna have you're gonna put the chlorine thing and all that. There's
I'll put a
system there.
Berkey filter. I'll put a Berkey filter in the house, and I could pee in that thing and drink it.
It would be like an osmos.
No, it's just
better.
a Berkey filter is a filter that sits in stainless steel, sits on your counter. You fill it up with water. It'll remove lead and all the impurities out of it, and they're a phenomenal filter. And you get them with 2 filters or 4 filters. The investment's pricey. It's like $400 to $600 to buy the water filter, but you got clean water, so it takes all the cooties out.
I'm a huge Sawyer fan. Sawyer has a 0.02 micron that you could run inline. Sawyer is a brand.
Yeah.
And
What is the
0.02
military?
micron.
Oh, sorry. Go. No, sorry.
You don't. We'll explain that in a minute. The military water is not very well filtered, but
No, I mean you guys are able to filter water live. So
yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, military when you're like on the
Yeah, we can do it in the military, and you can do it as a civilian.
Lake water because you have no choice to take lake water, but it filters out.
Generally, we use potable water, and the military at most bases already has a potable water source, and they call it potable water.
I got hand pumps. I got hand pumps that got ceramic filters in them, and I can fill up my Nalgene's and my water bottles, and then I have this MSR pen that uses salt and water, and it's got an electrical charge you pulse through it depending on what water you're adding it to, and it releases the chloramines and the salt, and you pour that into your water, and you basically dose your water, let it sit for 15 minutes, and it kills everything in 15 minutes. There's no Giardia, no Cryptosporidium, no nothing that's going to hurt you. And and after you get done doing that, it tastes like city water.
Okay.
The one that I was talking about is a company called Sawyer. They made a 0.02 micron, and it used fiber optics to do the thing. And at 0.02 micron, like
Yeah,
bacteria and
nothing's gotta
stuff.
drink.
Not only it's only really big enough for water molecules to get through. So
Okay.
even bacteria gets caught, and then when you need to clean the filter, you just push water back through it the opposite way, and then start over.
Back
again.
flush it. Yep.
Oh,
I
those
I have a filter for my truck that looks like a jerry can.
okay.
It's a 5-gallon jerry can, and I can filter 5,000 gallons of water through that before I have to change the filter.
Okay.
I could pull up to a beaver dam, throw that thing in the beaver dam, fill it up with water, pump water out of it, and not get sick. I don't
Okay.
recommend it,
No,
but it's capable of that.
but it's good. I mean,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
it's good. It's got
if you're at last
there's
minute
a
resort.
charcoal filter in it, and then I got a regular primary filter in it. It's wonderful. It comes out nice.
And you could drink it and not get sick.
Yeah, I've been up in the mountains and I've been next to a creek and I'm running out of water and I usually carry 15 to 20 gallons with me anyways. So I've been out there for a while if I'm running out of water. And what I'll do is I'll set up a day where I go through and I just keep filling up that jerry can at the creek and then I get it pumped up and get it pressurized and then I fill up the other jerry cans off that filter.
Yeah. Yeah. At
Another
least,
thing that I wanted
You got to
to bring
buy
up,
the right equipment. You can't just think you're going to go live in the mountains with a t-shirt. I mean,
no.
another
You're
thing
right.
that I wanted to bring up in here is more effects like steel and salmon. We're projected to have a 2.5% COLA increase on VA benefits.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't care. It's not enough.
Well, I don't disagree. We need like a 250% increase.
We need senator money.
And senator benefits.
Yes. I think the senators and congressmen should get VA medical and they should get VA benefits and VA pay.
If they did that for a week, we would get they would have a bill passed.
Oh, you need to go to the doctor? We can get you an appointment in 4 months. Oh,
Yeah.
That's it? Can I get a choice
No.
appointment? Well, it's going to take 30 days to go through choice.
Is that community care for you?
Yeah, community care choice.
Okay.
And so it'll be 30 days in choice before they locate a doctor. And then, so that may be 2 months before I get to see a civilian doctor.
Okay.
If I'm lucky.
Well, 2 months is good. Sometimes it's a couple of years.
That's ridiculous.
Well, that's the problem with free healthcare, sir.
And
No.
Yes.
No. I'll say this way. For some reason, you guys have a lot of Canadian doctors in the States. And there's a reason why.
I was going to say, because we pay more money. They don't pay 50% tax.
So we're missing.
Sorry, Verm, we're stealing your doctors because we pay
But I
better.
mean, and it's okay. I mean, it's like us. You want to go work to a job. You're not going to go work to a job at $25,000 a year. You're going to want to have that job at $75,000.
Yeah, that doctor that doctor is making $300,000-$400,000 a year.
And maybe 150 to 200, maybe 150 to 200.
He's
here
paying
in Canada.
30 to 40,000. He's paying 30 to 40% in taxes versus 50 plus.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
That's why I'm telling you. So you got a lot of Canadian.
And then he works here for 20 years, goes home, does medical there, and he double dips. He double dips on his retirement. He's getting Canadian Social Security, and he's getting he's getting U.S. Social Security.
That's mainly the reason, not because it's free. It's because I mean there's a part you might be right, but I mean it's mainly more that our specialists are all going into the States.
Well, I've had concierge medical before in my life. It's not a thing that everybody gets to ever get a hold of. But if I wanted to see a doctor, I literally made a phone call. And they would go, "Yes, DJ Akai, how can we help you today? I'm having some pain and I would like to come in and see the doctor. How's 3:30?"
That's great.
Yeah.
Not 3:30 next week. Not 3:30 2 months from now. 3:30 today.
Yeah.
And do you know what that cost me a month?
What?
For the entire family?
Mm-hmm.
$400.
Yeah.
So if I'm paying $400 for that service
Mm-hmm.
to do that, and not to mention they had their own pharmacy.
Mm-hmm.
When I had to get like, muscle relaxers or all that, get some I forget what that one's called, Flexeril.
Okay.
I got a bottle of Flexeril. Do you know how much it cost me?
How much?
$8.
Okay.
But if I go to a civilian hospital or doctor and wait to get my appointment and do all this junk, it ends up costing thousands of dollars and $50 or $100 for the prescription. And I go, oh, but you got your copay. Well, you just owe us $20. And I go, why do I owe you $20 for Flexeril when I can get it from my concierge doctor for $8?
Okay.
So, and how comes I can call my concierge doctor and see him today, but I can't see you for 3 months? There's a breakdown somewhere in that system.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of doctors. I know there's concierge medical in Canada.
Yeah.
Because you could pay X dollars a month. Because we've talked about it before.
Yeah, we have our private doctors. We go in and it goes fast because you're paying privately. You're paying the amount.
Yeah.
That's where I'm saying that. What he's saying about the free thing.
So do you do the free thing or you just cough up and pay for it?
Yeah. Like you guys. I mean, well, you got insurance, but I mean like you guys.
Yeah.
Like the main
They
American
both have insurance,
I have insurance, but you know what my deductible is?
No, I know. You told me the other time.
My deductible is $10,000.
Yeah.
I got to come out of pocket $10,000 before insurance will even look at me.
I don't do that. I'm going to tell you how I got around that. And all my VA appointments are at the beginning of the year, and the VA eats up into that deductible and maxes it out.
Kills my deductible every year, and I love it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's like us. I mean, we have kind of a lot of appointments, but see, I want to come to that. We're going to have to close it up, but I want to come to what I'm saying. It's you're talking about the Canadian part that we have the free thing.
It's two different systems.
Yeah, you guys have to pay. How much you cost yearly for the family?
Well, when I was doing concierge, it was 400 times 12.
I pay about that per 400 per month right now.
And then, thanks to Obamacare, now I'm a gold plan, so I get taxed more because I had good healthcare insurance.
Okay.
And that gets expensive. That's thousands.
He got penalized because he was doing better than everyone else.
I got penalized because I paid a higher premium to have a better healthcare insurance. That way I didn't get screwed,
Okay.
And everybody's got that option, but nobody takes that option.
No. Yeah. Okay.
Because I think everything should be given to them.
So,
but
it's about $5,000 a year ish.
It's more than that for me, but yeah.
No, I know, because you have that thing. Say
I'm probably spending 10 a year.
Okay.
I'm spending about $5. I pay like $430 a month. But
there's no extra fees. It's that, and you go to the hospital and you have your insurance.
I've had like a couple co-pays, but we're talking like my total bill for my daughter's been. I think I paid $200 for like 6 visits for her.
Okay.
And some of those are emergency room visits. However, my insurance has a backfill built into it. So when I had my medical issues in May and I went to the emergency room, the VA paid it for me, but then my insurance reimbursed me, and that's the way it's supposed to work.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. I had to call around. I had to ask a bunch of questions. I found out from the health services, Akai, that's 100% the way it's supposed to work.
That's awesome.
So
that's
randomly,
totally awesome.
At the beginning of the month, this month, I had $6,000 extra dollars. I had $6,000 extra dollars in my bank account, and I used it to square some people away. And not in a bad way. I just, bringing my wife into the country wasn't cheap.
Mm-hmm. No, I know. I mean, we all have expense on a lot of stuff. I'm just wondering because we keep saying it's free in Canada, but I mean, at the end of the day,
is it really free in Canada?
No, it's not because we pay it by our income tax. So I mean, it's not.
Well, I mean,
free.
you pay it by income tax, but what percentage of your income is being taxed? Is it proportional to how much you make, or is it just a flat fee? Or
no, it's proportional for how much you make. And then you're taxed on goods and services, and you're so that's why I keep telling you we're maybe taxed at more than 50%. I mean, when we look at the gross at the total revenue, I mean, because I mean we're taxed over taxed, and you're taxed on your salary about, it depends on the bracket, 27 to 30% on the salary yearly. And it depends on the bracket. What's your salary? And then you go off and whatever you buy is taxed.
Yeah, it's the same here. So think about it.
At 15%. So, I mean, so
we pay tax on our gas. Then you pay a road tax, and you pay a vehicle tax.
Yeah,
and all
that
for the
gas.
No, we do that. Hey man, you want to?
Well,
you do not want to see the bill of tax that we pay here. I mean,
no, and I wonder if the reason why they're so high, kind of following with this, is the reason why taxes in Canada are so high is due to the lack of population.
That could be yes. I would answer yes because we have less people to pay off. So yeah. I think so because you got like what 320 million
I
people.
I think we're closer to 400 million people, but I don't know if we want to consider.
Say 400 million, and we're about what 40 million,
if that.
I don't think you're at 40 million, Verm.
I think you're at like 30 something.
No, but I mean, I'm just giving.
You're 1/10 of what we are, and your country's bigger. I think.
Well, the country's bigger, and they're giving us more services. I mean, I'm not saying that we get.
Matter of fact, there's more people up until COVID. There was more people in California than you had in your entire country.
That's what I'm saying. So imagine.
Yeah, but
imagine.
But the other thing here too is.
The
other thing too here is that a majority of the taxpayers in this country do not pay taxes.
Why?
When you go through and you go because they're below a certain income.
Okay.
So the way it works, Verm, is it's kind of funny. I could be Bill Gates. Yeah, and you have a bunch of write-offs too. I could be Bill Gates, for example, right? I'm not taxed on my assets. I'm only taxed on the income I make. So what I do is I take my 100 billion shares of Microsoft and I go to the bank and I ask for a loan against those shares. Well, you can't get taxed on debt. And then when that loan comes to the end, because the price of my shares is increased, I sell shares to cover the loan, but I don't pay tax because I'm paying a debt.
Okay.
And that's one of the ways. Okay. There's multiple ways to avoid the whole. So some of these CEOs don't make a paycheck like you think they do.
They make like 150,000, and then they have like 30 million in options and stuff. Like I would love to work at Amazon. Amazon, if you get up in upper management, I think they're giving maybe $250,000 vested over 5 years, or $300,000 in stock options vested over 5 years.
Oh yeah.
I would do everything I could to stay there 5 years, because it's $300,000 in today's money vested that you can cash out in 5 years. But in 5 years, it ain't going to be worth, let's just call it $250,000. It ain't going to be worth $250,000. It's probably going to be worth $500,000. Then I go and see a person like my buddy Akai and find out who this guy is and say, hey, look, I got $500,000 in Amazon stock. How can we make this grow? And if you get 6% a year, that's $30,000 a year. Just quick math. And that's like an average investment. That's very safe. You could do aggressive and make 12%.
Most of them are running about 10 to 15 right now.
Yeah, and that's so 6% is a very
that's very conservative.
Okay.
So you make $30,000 a year, after 10 years, you're at 800,000, and we're not including the compounded interest.
It'll double on average. An investment will double every 7 years.
Okay.
So if you put $100 in 7 years, should be worth 200.
Okay.
So you put in 500,000 after 21 more years of my working, it goes to $1 million. Then 7 years it goes to 2 million. Then 7 years it goes to 4 million. And at $4 million, I'm looking at
it's
the
hard
kind
to
of
pop. It's hard to pop that $1 million club.
But
once you pop it,
it's easy.
It just keeps growing.
Okay. Okay.
And the interest on $1 million, for example, just a basic interest, you could generally get, you could probably get 3 to 5%. You're looking at,
if you and your wife are going to retire in the next 7 years, and you have $1 million in retirement, it should be worth 2 million by the time you retire, conservatively.
Okay.
And under proper management.
Okay.
Now there is risk. Okay, you could lose everything tomorrow. Stocks market could crap. The country should get raided. The Canadian dollar is no longer viable. Who knows? Same thing in the U.S. could happen.
Yeah.
So diversify, but the older you get, you diversify more into low risk stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
That way, there's less fear of you losing everything in your retirement years.
No, yeah, you do less interest, but at least you're sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So with that said, ladies and gents, we sorry, I want to cut you off, Akai.
Cut me off.
We are at that time. We're already 12 past, and that's okay because we give a little bit more content to our to our public, to our fans. And Akai had the opportunity to have that 12 minutes because he was he had
late.
No choice. Yeah, but he had no choice.
Verm needs to say Akai was late.
Oh, okay. Akai was late. Yeah, it's true because you keep saying that to me. So yeah, Akai was late, ladies and gents. Yeah. So okay, guys. See you all next week. Akai, do your thing.
Yeah, you're gonna show me. Hold on a second.
Yeah, do your thing,
Akai. Hamster. Please like and subscribe. Go out to vermlandradio.com. Go to the swag shop. Push-ups for being late. Thanks, Ragnar. I'll send you some pictures in a little bit, buddy. And go out there, buy a coffee cup. We got that really cool tumbler now. I need to order that thing because that thing looks bad. Yeah, it's kind of that military green. It's really good. It looks really good. I like it. I want to order it. I want it to be mine. I want it to be here when I'm doing the show.
Give Ragnar the link and your other brother so he could get his cap because I know he ordered a cap or something like that. And Sam Truck, he ordered a cap and he couldn't get it. So at least that site you should be able to get it.
Yep. I'm very excited. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. See you all next week. And same time, same hour. Ragnar, always a pleasure. It's been a long time. So always a pleasure. And see you all.
I'm going to go put it in
next week.
Okay.